What's up, Internet? Welcome to your house. I don't know why it got off the title screen, but yeah, this is a weird game I found on Steam, and that's it. That's basically all I know. Like a lot of these small games on this channel, I just try to always find something that I think is relatively interesting. This looks pretty manageable. Yeah, it's your house. That's the game. Let's start. Play. Interlude. Interesting. Okay. Hicksville boarding school. I'm an idiot. What do I do? Oh, I'm so gullible. I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid. I deserve this. I'm so stupid. I deserve this gash on my head. How could she do this to me? I'm her best friend. Ooh. As soon as she reaches her room, Debbie heads straight toward the bathroom and locks herself in. She presses her hand to the wound on her forehead. Blood runs down her cheeks and neck, staining her Hicksville College uniform. How could I have been so stupid not to have noticed? She wonders. She contemplates herself in the mirror and dabs at the cut with a damp cloth. She had been driving at 100 kilometers per hour, tears streaming down her cheeks. Had she not been wearing a helmet, the accident could have been fatal. And today of all days... Today, my 18th birthday. Okay, I get it. So we're clicking the bold words to kind of like specify, I guess is the word we want to go with, right? A few hours ago, Debbie completed another lap around the sun. There are only a few minutes left until midnight, and not one person has wished her a happy birthday. Aw. Not even in her worst nightmare could she have imagined coming of age would be so traumatic. Debbie is still wiping away the dried blood and smeared mascara when she sees it in the mirror. There's an envelope on top of her dresser. What's this? Her name is written on the envelope in marker pen. The handwriting is both exquisite and disturbing. Debbie flips it over, but there's no return address. The stamps look foreign. Who could it be from? She doesn't remember the last time she received a letter that wasn't a fine. After a few seconds, Debbie begins to slowly tear the envelope and opens it. Aha. Okay, we got a postcard. Leo Motel postcard. 57B East Side School Road. So this is going to be... That's the school's address, obviously. Okay. There's nothing else I could click on in the photo, it looks like. She pulls out a postcard from inside the envelope. On the front is a photograph of a place she doesn't recognize. The address written on it is equally as strange. It's completely incomprehensible, mysterious even. Debbie studies the stamp, hoping it might offer a clue. I have no idea where this bird is from. Oh, the bird. Okay, got it. There's something else inside the envelope. It's a key and it has a tag. Debbie picks up the key and looks at the tag. Happy birthday. The first birthday message she's had all day. Who the hell sent me this? Is this some kind of joke? Ouch. A sharp pain pierces through her head. The wound on her forehead throbs. She really needs to rest. It's really been an intense day. She pushes her backpack off her bed and it falls to the floor with a thump. She slowly takes off her sneakers and lies down on top of the crumpled quilt. She holds the postcard up and stares at it until her vision blurs and her eyelids feel heavy. Exhausted, Debbie drops the postcard onto her chest and sighs. Her gaze wanders to the ceiling above her. Whoa. Nicole. That filthy, deceitful rat. She doesn't even like David. Why did she do it? Was she jealous? Or was it just to satisfy her spoiled brat ego? I trusted her. I told her how I felt about David, or how I thought I felt about him. Note to self, never fall in love with the captain of the lacrosse team, although it hurts way more to be betrayed by my best friend than to be cheated on by that creep, David Stratford. Okay, so we have a friend against her back situation. Ooh. This is giving me Simogo vibes. Device 6, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, that kind of thing. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's very like... Hello. Oh, she was on roller skates. Okay. Damn it. That image is going to stay with me for the rest of my life. They weren't even trying to hide it. They were right there, making out in the pub in front of everyone, laughing in my face, talking about being two-faced. I chose not to make a scene, yet I made sure to pour a pint of beer over them as I left. But then the accident. Where was I? I remember the screeching of the brakes, the feeling of flying through the air, the driver's look of horror when he asked if I was all right. Poor guy, he was more freaked out than I was when he saw my blood on the pavement. Who is this? On Monday, I was kicked out of boarding school again. I'm really outdoing myself. This is the third time this year. The way my dad shot me that "you've really disappointed me" glare when I was talking to Strickland, it was priceless. And that sorry excuse of a principal went on, reeling off my greatest achievements, repeatedly skipping class, alcohol and drug use on the school premises, zero respect for rules and school values. My dad has given me way too many ultimatums. He's well aware that shipping me off to some other boarding school would be doing me a favor. He has a million other tricks up his sleeve when it comes to making my life miserable. But if he dares lay a hand on me again, he'll know what's coming. I made that crystal clear to him last Christmas. Ooh, this girl has a hard life. Debbie jolts upright. There's no point fooling herself any longer. A good night's sleep is out of the question, tonight and all of the following nights for the next 18 years of her life. Thousands of thoughts swirl around her mind. She pushes all but one aside, which begins to make more and more sense. To run away. To get out of this place. Right now. Without a minute to waste. Yes, and that's what she's going to do. She'll have to think on her feet and figure out a way to find the address on the postcard. It's a leap in the dark. She knows there might be nothing there and that the key might be nothing more than a joke, but right now, anything is better than staying in Hicksville. Adrenaline pumping, Debbie empties her backpack, letting her science and economics books tumble to the floor. She could fill it with more useful things. Ooh. Okay. Debbie scours her room looking for anything she might need. Some clothes. Cool. A pair of slippers and her toothbrush. She opens her desk drawer and finds a map. And a Swiss Army knife. Aha. Ah, yes, some cash would be helpful. She bends down and pulls out a small wooden box from under her bed. This is where she keeps the money her Aunt Lucille gave her. There's enough to keep her going for 6 months or so. She also picks up her amulet. Ooh, that's a special thing. It's a small jewel that Aunt Lucille gave her. It was her mom's. She would have liked you to have it, her aunt told her. Debbie never met her mom. She died when she was 4 years old, but now's not the time to think about that. She stuffs her belongings into her backpack along with the postcard and key. Debbie puts on her jacket and pulls a hat over her head. She looks in the mirror and barely recognizes herself. The wound on her forehead is swelling and turning purple, but at least it has stopped bleeding. It's already past midnight. The guards will be patrolling the halls of the residence, so the only alternative is the window. Debbie opens it. The cool nighttime breeze and the height. She's on a second floor, send a shiver down her spine. For a moment, Debbie turns and looks back at the dorm behind her. Fuck it. This isn't my house. Okay. Debbie sticks one leg out of the window and looks around outside. She knows she must rely on the cover of darkness to make her escape. Hundreds of stars flicker above her, but the night sky is moonless. There doesn't seem to be anyone in the garden. She hears voices and laughter coming from one of the dorm rooms. Another sleepover I wasn't invited to. Good. That'll keep the night guards busy. Debbie leans on the windowsill gingerly and clutches at the moldy bricks. She pulls herself up, placing her feet on the dangerously narrow ledge. Moving her hands and feet simultaneously, she shimmies over to the drain pipe. As soon as she reaches the cold metal pipe, she grabs it and she slides down it. This is cool. Ouch. Debbie misjudged the distance and has tumbled into a planter. The bushes cushioned the blow, and she isn't hurt, but the crash might have caught someone's attention. So much for being quiet. She's going to have to cross the garden quickly without getting caught. She has 40 seconds to get to the fence and jump over it when the guard isn't looking. Debbie runs. Runs more and more. Runs fast. Runs and runs without looking back. Runs and runs. Oh, I see. Okay. And at the very moment when the guard is looking, oh, that's so cool. Isn't looking. Jumps. Sick. She sneaks towards the parking lot, crouching down as she goes. There must be some clueless student who forgot to lock their car or left their window half open. That's when she sparks it. Parked a few feet away is Nicole's brand new red motorbike. A sly grin spreads across her lips. She'll have to hotwire the engine, but fortunately she's got some experience with that. Debbie rummages under the tank and finds the electrical circuit. She has to cut the wires. Without thinking, she opens her backpack and takes out the Swiss Army knife. She sure will come in handy. Okay, there's an icon on the side here. That's returning it? Okay. Oh, okay. Sick. Oh, I love that. Okay, that's awesome. Now, Debbie must first connect the green wire to the black wire, and then the red wire to the blue wire. When the wires are connected, she'll be able to start the bike. Green to the black. Red wire to the blue. Nice. Okay. The bike starts up with a roar that sounds like pure freedom. As the security guard approaches the parking lot, Debbie grips the handbars and accelerates, getting out of there as fast as she can. Quid pro quo, Nicole, your bike in exchange for Slimy David. She takes the first exit she comes to. Debbie can't help but think about the boarding school. They probably haven't even noticed she's gone. Tomorrow morning, they'll start looking for her. Her body aches and her head throbs, but she can't stop. She must get to her destination as soon as possible. First, she must get her bearings and decide whether to take the interstate highway or the Hicksville freeway. Say the interstate. Debbie's eyes start to feel heavy. She passes a sign for a service area a few miles up ahead. It's tempting. She still has a little gas in the tank, but it wouldn't hurt to stop for a coffee and a bite to eat. Or would she be taking an unnecessary risk? She debates whether to keep going or to stop. We should stop. She definitely needs a break to refuel. After filling up the bike, she heads towards the service station bar. This is really cool. I really like this thing. I hope it gets a little bit more puzzly, but I have a feeling that's coming. Debbie slumps down at a table by the window. She slowly sips on a hot coffee and devours a sugary muffin that fulfills all the criteria of a mass-produced snack. Lost in her thoughts, Debbie imagines her dad's reaction when they tell him she's run away. How could you let this happen, Strickland? I thought you ran a serious institution. She was always trouble, Mr. Clough. Clough? I don't know how you pronounce that. What are you implying? Are you telling me I don't know how to bring up my own daughter? Feeling a curious mix of embarrassment and delight, Debbie slurps the last sip of coffee and lays out the map on the table. She still has quite a way to go. She could take the 86 to Northwick or the back road to Pine Bluffs. Let's stay on main roads. Although this seems to be the longest route, she will reach her destination sooner this way. The early morning rays do little to warm her hands, which are frozen from hours of gripping the handlebars of the motorbike. As the shadows and haze fade away, they reveal an unfamiliar landscape, fresh, new, and full of promise. Debbie is now overcome by a feeling of liberation. Without knowing how or why, she feels sure she's doing the right thing. It did say happy birthday on the key. It's gotta be a sign. With her eyes on the horizon, she settles into the seat and gives the throttle more gas. As she drives, memories of the past she's leaving behind come flooding back. Lost in regret and overcome with fatigue, her grip weakens and the bike slows. Seriously? What am I doing? I gotta get some random anonymous postcard and suddenly I'm ready to send everything and everyone to hell? A freight truck overtakes her abruptly, bringing her back to reality. The strong tailwind forces her to straighten up. The traffic on the road is getting heavier by the minute. No more looking back. She needs to focus on the present and on the future. An hour and a half later, she passes a sign announcing her destination. It's almost noon when Debbie finally reaches her destination. She's in what appears to be a quiet residential area, at the end of a boulevard lined with tall, leafy trees. The houses are big, with well-kept gardens and welcoming front porches. There's hardly anyone around, just a few kids playing in the driveways and a friendly-looking neighbor walking the dog. It looks like a really nice neighborhood. Debbie turns off the engine and reads the street name again. She takes off her backpack and opens it. To double check the address on the postcard. Yep, this is it. She sets off again, much more slowly, her eyes scanning for the number 57 along the odd-numbered sidewalk. She feels her pulse start to quicken. 7, 19, 25, 33, 41. Can't be. Ooh. Debbie stops in front of number 57 and gets off the bike. She can hardly believe her eyes. In front of her is a house she can't even begin to describe. She simply can't put it into words. It's beautiful. Debbie murmurs as she crosses the street and approaches the gate, unable to take her eyes off the impressive mansion before her. The gate looks like it's open. Debbie looks both ways, afraid someone is watching her, but there's not a soul in sight. Happy birthday, she says to herself, building up the courage to push the gate open. Debbie crosses the garden on a narrow pathway bordered by brightly colored plants. Dry leaves crunch beneath her feet, and it looks like no one has mowed the lawn in weeks. A small slope leads her to the front door. The wooden porch creaks under her feet as she stops in front of the door, solid and simple in design. She hesitates for a moment, then knocks. She tries again, and again, and again. No one answers. Debbie goes to push open the door, but it's firmly locked. To her right is something that looks like an intercom, but it's turned off. There's a small slot in the panel. Perhaps she needs a key to activate it. So we go back to opens, right? Yep. Let's put that back. Let's take the key. Cool. She inserts the key into the slot and the display lights up. The intercom is now turned on. Debbie tries to open the door again, but it's still locked. It looks like she needs to enter a combination. From the looks of it, this is no conventional security system, but there's no questioning its effectiveness. What now? Okay, so it's a 3-digit code. Leo. Could be something to do with Leo. It could be 037 if we turn it upside down. How about 730?
Take a good look at what once came your way. The cars, birds, and trees are the key to entering this place.
The cars, birds, and trees. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, okay. So it's gonna be, yeah. So it is the postcard. So it's 6, maybe 3, maybe 4 with the back one. So we'll try 6, 3, 5, and see if that works. Okay, let's try 6, 3. Sorry, it'll be 6, 4, 5. Yep. Okay, cool. So me.
Home, colon. Your regular place of residence and one in which you live your private or family life. You know, that sounds great, but who am I kidding? I've never had a home. Till now, at least. So it's been over a week since I arrived here, and I'm still not sure if this house is a gift or a joke. Like, I feel like at any moment someone's gonna burst through the door, see me living here, and call the cops, and it's either gonna be some loaded lowlife or a happy family with their 3 blonde kids and a dog. I once read on a mug that the best things in life are free. Dreams, laughter, hugs. Okay, yeah. What a load of nonsense. Every night I go to bed wondering who sent me this letter and this key, and I wonder why they did it. Like, there's too many unanswered questions. How am I supposed to relax like this? I saw that figure dressed in black again today. They were snooping around the garden fence. And who are you? Are you behind all of this? I'm leaving behind this tape recording in case I disappear or something happens to me.
Ooh, sinister. Very device 6. That's super what this is. Okay, just want to quickly check. Cool. Bathroom. Love, hate, off. A jet of hot pressurized water massages Debbie's neck and shoulders. The shower, much like the bathroom and the rest of the house, is spacious and sophisticated in design. She's been settled in for several weeks now, but it still feels like an outsider. She can't help but wonder what stories lie hidden in the furniture and paintings that adorn the many rooms of the mansion. Nevertheless, her initial doubts and fears have given way to a sense of excitement at starting afresh. Debbie has convinced herself that the house is a gift, a chance to leave a dark and miserable past behind her. Wait a minute, is that a doorbell? Debbie turns off the shower, and she listens with bated breath. It's the first time she's ever heard it, but it does indeed sound like the doorbell. She has the music on full blast, so whoever it is probably already knows someone's home. Her heart hammering, Debbie pulls on her bathrobe and she hurriedly walks out of the bathroom. Not bothering to dry herself off, Debbie walks straight into the bedroom, leaving wet footprints and dripping water all over the floor. Distressed, she hesitates between putting on clothes or going downstairs as she is in her bathrobe. The doorbell keeps ringing insistently. They can wait, she mutters to herself as she opens the door to the small adjoining room. When she first inspected it, Debbie didn't think much of the surprising fact that the dressing room was full of women's clothes, outfits, and shoes, all of which were precisely her size. Maybe it was just a coincidence, or maybe the mysterious person who sent her the letter with the key knew her much better than she cared to admit. After slipping on some pants and grabbing a t-shirt at random, Debbie leaves the dressing room in a hurry. How annoying. Who could it be? Could it be something to do with that sinister-looking character she saw a few days ago? Debbie grimaces semi-approvingly as she sees the summary print of the t-shirt she picked out reflected in the closet mirror. Feeling uneasy, she leaves the bedroom. 2 further sharp rings demand her presence. Debbie has the vague feeling that taking her time to open the door gives her a certain sense of authority, as if that were an irrefutable proof that she truly is the owner of the house. However, her steps unconsciously quicken, driven by anguish. Pictures hanging on the walls in the hallway watch as Debbie runs past and reaches the stairs, practically skidding. Debbie has spent the last few days mentally coming up with a false identity for herself, just in case some nosy neighbor shows up asking awkward questions. She'll fake a French accent and claim to be an exchange student renting the mansion. Moi je m'appelle Catherine. I speak very bad English. Désolé. Absent-minded, Debbie plays the conversation out in her head as she descends the staircase 2 steps at a time, sliding her hand along the railing. As she reaches the last step, she stumbles foolishly and is about to fall before she ends up in the living room. What a terrible time to stumble. Debbie reacts just in time and grabs a bookshelf to stop herself from falling flat on her face. In an effort to calm herself down, she approaches the stereo, which is still blaring music. It's a superb piece of equipment, worthy of a melomaniac. Debbie loves to turn on the music on full blast and dance by herself, be it in the morning, as soon as she wakes up, or at midnight, naked and savoring a glass of wine. At first, she was worried about bothering the neighbors, but seeing that no one complained, she gradually turned up the volume. As soon as she turns off the music, the doorbell can be heard crystal clear. Debbie feels defenseless, as if she revealed her standing in a strategic game. Her pulse quickens. They're still there, she thinks as she crosses into the hall. Debbie shakes her hands around in the air in an attempt to dry off her sweaty palms. Then she stops and stands on the carpet in the entrance hall and begins to mentally count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's no doubt about it. The doorbell has stopped ringing. In the silence now, she can even hear herself breathing. Seriously? She mutters to herself, somewhat relieved. Debbie carefully creeps up to the door, poised to peer through the peephole. No one. They're gone. All she could see through the peephole is the empty porch and the garden. Suddenly, a knock startles her. The sound is now coming from the back door. Who do you think they are? Debbie quickly retraces her steps. Debbie boldly walks into the living room, but gradually her pace slows to a halt. The sofas, the floor lamp, and the bookcases full of books seem to taunt her. She clearly recalls there being a back door in the kitchen, but how do you get to it? You have to go through the dining room and then... No, wait. Her nerves are getting to the best of her, making it difficult to find her bearings. In front of her, there's a wooden door. On the left, a large sliding door. Office room. It's a cozy little room, a nice nook to work in. It has a vintage desk, lots of books, many of them on architecture, a drinks cabinet. No, this is the office. This is not the way. The somewhat maze-like layout of the rooms often still causes Debbie to get lost in the house. Just the other day, for instance, it took her several minutes to find the bathroom. As she turns back around, she tries to remember the way to the kitchen. Ooh, I see the 1 equals A. Okay. And it's up here, too. She goes back to the living room. I can't back to enter. This time she doesn't hesitate. The knocking from the back door has become even sharper. Debbie quickly crosses the living room. This time she doesn't hesitate and decisively opens the sliding door that leads to the dining room. Oh. A particularly loud thump causes Debbie's blood to run cold for a second. Frozen, she silently gazes at the practically regal details of the room, such as the large gilded ice bucket or the glass cabinet that houses an imposing porcelain dinner service. Debbie swallows as she slowly skirts the long table that presides over the dining room, surrounded by 10 chairs. Evidently wary, she places her hand on the doorknob leading to the kitchen. The knife. From the kitchen doorway, Debbie finds that no one is in the backyard. The knocking has stopped. She slides her fingers across the cold marble of the countertop, not taking her eyes off the small back door. Why does she feel like she's doing something wrong? As her hand reaches to turn the key in the lock, she shudders. It's not locked, meaning that if someone had wanted to get in, they could have easily entered by now. Determined, Debbie pushes open the back door. Debbie looks to her left and her right, but does not see anyone. Stepping onto the gravel of the driveway, she realizes that all this time she's been barefoot. As she looks down to her feet, that's when she sees it. A large envelope that has been left on the floor with no stamp, return address, or any writing on it. The first thing that Debbie notices as she picks it up is how heavy it is. Judging by its shape, it appears to contain a book. Clutching the envelope against her chest, Debbie takes a last look around the backyard, which, just as the rest of the manor's garden, and much like its past, retains the decaying aura of all things that have been abandoned. She closes the kitchen door behind her and opens the envelope. Oh, goodness. Debbie returns to the office, sets aside some documents, and puts the book on the table to leaf through it. Wow, there's a lot here. Okay. It's a collection of all kinds of clippings. Overcome with curiosity, Debbie tries to find some logic or sense to it all, but two things stick out to her as being particularly strange. The first is that a page seems to have been torn out at the end of the book. The second is a bookmark that has been left on a page that features a pair of shoes that seem awfully familiar to Debbie. Where have I seen these shoes before? Debbie picks up the book and exits the room. All right. Interesting. I think I'm going to call it for this episode. I think we're going to leave this here, oddly. I don't really know where the break is. So we obviously we saw those chapter markers, but I don't know if we've already crossed into chapter 1 or 2. I'm unsure. So we're going to call it here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're interested in where this series is going to go. Don't know how long the game is, but I'm assuming if there's 5 chapters, it's probably on the shorter side, right? Within 5 or 6 episodes, maybe. So I hope you're excited about that. Please give this video a like and subscribe if you want to see those future episodes. And in the meantime, while you're waiting, if the future episodes aren't already out, you can check out our other playlists so you can see all the other games we've played. Again, this game is already reminding me a lot about Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. If you've never played that game, or if you've never seen me play that game, you could check that out on the channel. That's one of my favorite playthroughs in the game. And speaking of other houses, we have this ongoing playthrough of Blueprints, and that is equally a strange house being gifted to us. So odd theming this year, but that is what we have. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.